Hey guys, so today I'm not in a car and I thought I should make this video sitting at home because I have quite a few emails that have come through, one particular one from someone called Andy Singh, and people keep asking me to give them advice about cars and which car to buy. And to be honest, it's very hard because you don't know the person and then you don't know what kind of cars they've had, what's their budget like, and there's so many variables and factors that you need to take into consideration. It's very hard, but Andy's taken the time to describe what he's had before and what he's looking for, so I thought I should make this video and maybe it'll be useful to some other people as well. So, thank you very much for your email first of all, and the compliments. It's always very encouraging and good to see that people like your stuff. So Andy says he's had Range Rovers and he says Range Rover and Range Rover Sport, so I assume he had a Vogue and a Sport. I've had both, so I can understand. He wants to buy a 911 991 Gen 2, which means this is the new engine, the 3-litre turbo engine. So first of all, I'm not a big fan of the new turbo engines, so I will give whatever advice I can, but I'm not a purist or anything, but turbo engines make this whizzing noise and I don't really like the sound of that turbo whizzing while you're accelerating. And somehow the engine sounds a bit weak, and the sports exhaust sounds hollow in that car. So I bought the Boxster S, the 718, and I thought I would love it, but after 3 months I was utterly bored of it. And I think I'll make another video about the issues I had with the Boxster S, because you've seen the videos, me driving around enjoying it, and but there were some issues that I think I should tell people about, and maybe Porsche will watch those and fix those issues. So Andy's looking for a coupe, PDK, black or grey. So both black or agate grey are good colours. I would personally choose an agate grey. I had one, you may have seen in one of my videos. It's a very beautiful colour, and you can have a red interior, you can have a stone, light, sort of off-white kind of interior. I had a brown interior, which looked amazing. Everyone complimented whenever they saw the car. So there's so many different types of colours you can have. Black, there's so many black cars out there. And in my personal opinion, Porsche, especially the 911s, they look better in other colours than black. Somehow black makes them, I don't know, takes away the beauty and the lines, the arches at the back. You can't really see it very well. Maybe it's just my opinion. So PDK or manual, I think it's your personal choice. I love manual cars, and but I have a PDK 911 now, and to be honest, I'm very happy with it. The gear changes are amazing, and I think people, when they talk about quick gear changes and all that, what they forget about is that upshifting is great. Manual cars are amazing as well. You can upshift very quickly, maybe not as fast as a PDK, but you can still shift very quickly. But when it comes to downshifting, that's where the PDK is just amazing. When you're going around a corner and you want to have the right gear, just a flick of your hand brings you into the right gear, and the car does the rev matching and everything. In the new cars, the Gen 2s, they have put the Sport Chrono package with a rev matching option. So if you have a manual car, you switch on the Sport mode, it does the rev matching. But still, shifting gears is fun, but at the same time, if you want to go fast around bends and corners, then I think it's more fun to have a PDK, but either is a good choice. If I could get the 911R, I would get a manual and be very happy with it. So Andy doesn't go to tracks, and he says he'll just drive around London and North London and various sort of normal journeys rather than using the car on a track as a sports car, which is pretty much what I do. Whenever I go to a track, I use the cars that Porsche provide. So you can pay a little bit extra and you can use one of their cars. So if you take your own car to the track, you have to remember that you're going to burn up tires, you're going to burn up the brakes. So either you have a separate set of tires and brakes that you change when you take the car, you thrash it, do whatever. Porsches can take a lot of beating and they're perfectly fine, nothing happens. But it's the tires and brakes that still go because it's rubber and whatever the brakes are made of. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. But if you use one of their cars, then it's fine, because in that price that they charge you, it takes care of that. It just takes away the headache of replacing those things. What he's asking about, which is another question that many people ask me, is two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. And in my personal opinion, if you're a hardcore enthusiast and you want to have a car that you can play with on a track, then two-wheel drive. But otherwise, if you're just an average Joe like me, then a four-wheel drive. If I have a choice, if I was speccing up a car again, I would go for a four-wheel drive. I've had a Carrera 4S and a few other four-wheel drive cars. They are so amazing because the car takes care of all your imperfections of driving. And I'm not an amazing driver, and sometimes you go around a corner a bit faster than you should, and then the car slides a little or something and you think, four-wheel drive, no, you can really push it, it will take care of itself. So if you have a choice, then definitely four-wheel drive is my recommendation. He's saying, are the Turbo and Turbo S models worth the premium? And he's saying, assuming the S has all the factory options like LED plus reverse camera, etc. Porsche don't give you any options for free. What happens with the standard model and the S model is that the S model has a little more stuff than the standard base model, and if you add the same items to a standard model, you'll notice that at the end the price difference between those two will be minimal. So for example, I'll tell you the Boxster when I was speccing it up. So the standard Boxster with all the extras that I wanted was coming up to, I think, 55,000 pounds, and a Boxster S with all those extras was 60. So it was a no-brainer, because if you notice, I don't know if you go to the car configurator and check, but if you put a standard car, whether it's a Carrera or a Boxster, when you look at the extras, they're more expensive. And if you put an S, you'll notice that the prices drop. So the same, leather will be cheaper, same alloy wheels will be cheaper for the S because it's already more expensive to buy, so they reduce the prices. I don't know about LEDs because the Panameras, for example, the LED is standard, but I remember when I was getting the GTS, you had to pay for the LEDs. I'm not fussed, so I just kept the standard ones. What I chose was the PDLS because it sort of, I don't think it matters when you're driving around and the headlight follows you, but when you go across to the continent it makes a difference. You just flick a button and the lights shift the other way, which is really great for me. reverse camera, you have to pay for it. I don't remember ever getting one as standard. The Panameras, yeah, I think it comes as standard, but I don't think it comes. Front axle lift system. Is asking if it's a must for everyday driving. It's not really, depends on where you live. I have friends who have really steep drives, so if you have a steep drive, then yes, it's a must. But if you just have a normal house and it's flat, just drive slow and you'll be fine. My car doesn't have it, and I think the only one time that I hit the road was at one of my friends. He had a very steep drive and he rang and told me that when you come, your bumper's going to hit the ground, so be very slow and very careful. And I was very slow and very careful, but there was nothing I could do, it just scraped. So, but there's shields underneath, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's a car. You're not going to put it in a glass cage and preserve it for eternity. It's there to be driven and enjoyed, and it's going to get scratched, so what? Yeah, so I hope this helps. The other things I would say for anyone asking advice on cars, buying Porsches and things, go drive a few, and most dealers will take you for a short drive. And so if you're friendly with a dealer and if you buy cars from them, then they will give you the car for much longer. Sometimes I get cars for like a week, sometimes they give it to me for a day, depends on how busy they are. Also, if you're not friendly and you don't know many dealers, then what you can easily do is go to a few. So book test drives with 3 different dealers and try a Carrera at one, a Carrera S at the other, a Carrera 4, and get a feel of the car. You're making a big purchase, and it's one of those bizarre things. When we go and buy, I don't know, jeans, we try them on and we go in front of the mirror and we ask our friends, then we go buy a house and you go in there for 15 minutes and you look around, you say, yeah, because if you don't make a decision, someone else will buy it. And that's like the biggest purchase. And same thing happens with the cars. You are spending £100,000 on something and you drive it for half an hour or 15-20 minutes. No, it shouldn't be like that. Feel the car, enjoy it. And to be honest, if you're looking to buy a Porsche and it's your first or second car or sports car, I would say go for the second-hand market, because these cars are solid. I mean, I have seen cars with my own eyes that have done over 100,000 miles and they were immaculate. No rattles, no nothing, engines amazing. As long as you have it serviced, as long as you look after it and you drive it regularly, they are tanks and they are designed to be thrashed, so nothing happens. Actually, there was an issue with the 997s at one point where they had some cylinder leaks or something, and I spoke to a few mechanics at the time who say, I was quite worried because I had one of those at the time, and I was worried that I'm going to get an issue, and he said no, it's because people don't drive them hard enough, and if you drive it really hard, the temperature goes up, the oil goes through that part, and it's lubricated. So people who just tootle around town and don't drive it hard are the ones who are having those issues, because the engine never gets hot enough, the lubrication isn't done properly, it's not building the right amount of pressures. It's designed like that. So get a second-hand car, there's nothing wrong with it, and there are so many out there in the market. You won't be disappointed, and if you're really worried and that you may have issues with it, go buy it from a Porsche dealer, because they do background checks on the car, they'll do mileage checks, they will make sure it's had no accidents, so they'll have a full history. They don't take cars and resell them unless they're absolutely sure. If they take a car in a part exchange and they're not sure, it will go into an auction. it will never be sold by Porsche as one of the approved used cars. So you can be absolutely sure and comfortable that the car that you buy directly from Porsche, it comes with a 2-year warranty, it comes with breakdown assistance, and that's just a peace of mind. And to be honest, the prices are very competitive. If you check Auto Trader and eBay and all these other online websites, you'll see that Porsche dealers are now selling cars that are maybe a couple of grand more expensive. So if you were to take out an additional warranty on the car, that's about £2,000. And I would say if you were to do that, get the warranty through Porsche. Don't go for those third-party aftermarket companies, because they will have all these clauses where sometimes they say if the damage was caused by a part that was not insured, which hit a part that was insured, therefore you're not covered. So all those little kinds of tricks that they put in the contract to get out of paying you. So go to Porsche. If you bought a car privately, then they'll do a 111 point check, which costs 150 odd pounds, and if you take out the warranty with them, then they waive that cost. So I think for a year it's 1,400, and for 2 years it's 2,100 or 200. So it's definitely worth it, especially if you decide to sell your car. And even if it's got 3 months of Porsche warranty remaining, that's great, because the buyer knows that the car has no fault. Because if there's a fault, Porsche would have fixed it. And even if they take it away from you for the next however many months it's got remaining, the warranty goes from person to person with the car, as long as it's a private sale. If it's sold through a dealership, then the warranty is lost. So anyhow, the point I'm making is that if you're going to spend X amount of money on a car that you are worried about, that you may have issues with and it's expensive to maintain, go to a dealer, haggle by all means, take your other car, whatever it may be. They'll do a part exchange because they send those cars to auction, and you'll get a good deal. And if you want, I can recommend you to my salespeople. So there are a couple of dealers that I buy through, and I buy through them because they're nice people, and not because I get special discounts or anything. It's because they are always honest, and they'll give me good advice. They'll tell me what car I should buy, rather than trying to upsell me and force me or convince me to buy something I won't like. So I keep going back to the same people. They're really good. But in general, yeah, so if you want my advice, I can recommend those couple of people. But they're in London, so well, one's in Reading, one's in London. So, but I mean, I'm sure they can send cars anywhere. And to be honest, sometimes there are cars in other parts of the country, and they can't get them because they're part of the Porsche group and not one of those franchises. So they're always honest, and they'll say, well, if you can get a better deal elsewhere, then go, because you still get the Porsche warranty and everything. So, I mean, I change cars quite frequently. In the last, 2 years alone, I think I've changed about 5 cars. So it's good to have good, honest people behind you who can give you advice and help you. So anyway, I don't want this to be too long. I think it's already been a very long vlog. But put your comments, ask me the questions, and then I'll make a vlog based on those questions. I think it's easier to answer a list of questions that people ask, like Andy did, than to just ask for general advice, because general advice, I could just rant for hours and bore you to death, and it may not be relevant. But yeah, so hope you enjoyed it, and hit the like button and subscribe. My friends keep telling me I need to say this, but so this is for my friends, that yes, I've said it, but I believe that if someone likes your blog, they will subscribe and they'll like it anyway, so it doesn't really matter what you say. I mean, when I watch other videos, I just ignore the last bit. It's like, yeah, every time you say that. If I like it, I will. So yeah, hope this was useful. Let me know and I will make more like these if you think they're of any use. Thanks for watching.